The Murder of Reeva Steenkamp, a story of love, power, fear, and a night that changed everything. Narrator, calmly deliberate. In the early hours of February 14th, 2013, Valentine's Day, in a quiet, high-security estate in Pretoria, South Africa, for gunshots shattered the silence of the night. Behind a locked bathroom door, a young woman named Reeva Steenkamp lay dying, and in the hallway stood a man once celebrated as a global icon, a man who inspired millions, a man called Blade Runner, Oscar Pistorius. What happened inside the house would divide a nation and ignite one of the most controversial murder trials of the 21st century. This is the story of Reeva Steenkamp and the night she lost her life. The Golden Boy. Oscar Pistorius was born on November 22nd, 1986, in Johannesburg. At just 11 months old, both of his legs were amputated below the knee due to a congenital condition, fibular hemimelia. Doctors said he would struggle, but Oscar's mother, Sheila, told him something that would shape his life forever. You're no different from your brother. And he believed her. With carbon fiber prosthetic blades, Oscar became something the world had never seen before. An amputee sprinter who could compete against able-bodied athletes. He ran with ferocity. He ran with defiance. He ran as if he were proving something to the world, and perhaps to himself. In 2012, he became the first double amputee athlete to compete in the Olympic Games. He was hailed as a hero, a symbol of perseverance, a living testament to human willpower. But behind the polished interviews and global endorsements, there were whispers of temper, of guns, of volatility. Reeva Rebecca Steenkamp was born on August 19, 1983, in Cape Town. She was intelligent, ambitious, radiant. Reeva studied law and later built a career as a model and television personality. She was more than a pretty face. She had dreams of becoming a legal advocate for women and children. Friends describe her as kind, thoughtful, driven. She wasn't chasing fame. She was building a life. In late 2012, she met Oscar Pistorius. The relationship moved quickly. They were photographed together, interviewed together, smiling. They looked like South Africa's golden couple. But relationships, especially fast ones, often carry unseen currents. Text messages later revealed tension, arguments, emotional strain. Reeva once wrote, "I'm scared of you sometimes." It was a message that would later echo in courtrooms around the world. February 13th, 2013. Valentine's Day was approaching. Reeva told friends she had planned a surprise for Oscar. She arrived at his home in the Silver Woods country estate on the evening of February 13th. Security footage shows her entering. She would never leave alive. That night, neighbors would later testify they heard shouting, then screaming, then gunshots. But what exactly happened inside that house? Only two people truly knew. And by morning, only one was alive to tell the story. Around 3 a.m., Oscar Pistorius claimed he woke to a noise. He said he believed an intruder had entered the house. Without his prosthetic legs on, he moved on his stumps through the dark bedroom. He retrieved his 9mm pistol. He did not turn on the lights. He did not verify where Reeva was. He walked toward the bathroom. Inside the bathroom was a small toilet cubicle. The door was closed. He said he felt fear. He said he believed someone was hiding inside. And then he fired 4 times. Bullets tore through the wooden door. One struck Reeva in the hip, another in the arm, another in the head. The final shot was devastating. Reeva collapsed inside the tiny cubicle. She was 29 years old. The aftermath. Oscar claimed he realized too late that Reeva was not in bed. He broke down the bathroom door with a cricket bat. He found her slumped and bleeding. He carried her downstairs. Neighbors and paramedics arrived. She was pronounced dead shortly after. But as police examined the scene, questions began to surface. Why would a man in a secure, gated community immediately assume an intruder? Why fire 4 shots through a closed door without warning? Why did neighbors report hearing a woman screaming before the gunshots? And perhaps most hauntingly, why did Reeva lock herself in the bathroom? The text messages, courtroom ambience, murmur fades under narration. Investigators uncovered messages between Oscar and Reeva. Some were loving, but others told a darker story. Reeva wrote about feeling accused, about being afraid of his anger. In one message, she said, "You have picked on me excessively. I do everything to make you happy, and you do everything to throw tantrums." The defense argued this was normal relationship friction. The prosecution argued it showed a pattern. A volatile man, a woman increasingly uneasy. The trial of the century. The trial began in March 2014. It was broadcast live. The world watched. Oscar Pistorius took the stand. He sobbed. He vomited during graphic testimony. He said he loved Reeva. He said it was a tragic mistake. He said he believed he was protecting them. But prosecutors painted a different picture. They argued Oscar had a history of reckless behavior with firearms. They brought up previous incidents. Firing a gun in a restaurant. Discharging a firearm through a car sunroof. Alleged temper issues. The state claimed this was not fear. This was anger. They suggested there had been an argument. That Reeva fled to the bathroom. That Oscar, in rage, fired at her through the door. The central question, was it murder or a catastrophic mistake? The verdict. In September 2014, Judge Thokozile Masipa delivered her ruling. Oscar Pistorius was found not guilty of premeditated murder. Instead, he was convicted of culpable homicide, comparable to manslaughter. The sentence? 5 years in prison. The reaction was immediate. Outrage, shock, protests. Many believed justice had not been served. Reeva's parents sat quietly through it all, dignified, grieving, appeals and reversal. The prosecution appealed. In 2015, South Africa's Supreme Court appeal overturned the culpable homicide conviction. Oscar Pistorius was now guilty of murder. He was eventually sentenced to 13 years and 5 months in prison, a dramatic fall, from global hero to convicted killer. Reeva's voice, throughout the trial, Reeva's words resurface again and again. Her final tweets spoke about violence against women, just hours before her death. She posted about raising awareness for abuse victims. In a tragic twist of fate, she became one. Her parents, Barry and June Steenkamp, became advocates against domestic violence. They said, "We don't want revenge, we want justice." June Steenkamp later revealed she did not believe Oscar's version of events, but she also said forgiveness was for her own peace. Questions that linger. Even years later, debate continues. Did Oscar truly believe there was an intruder? Was it panic? Or was it fury? Some forensic experts argued the trajectory of the bullets suggested he was standing on his prosthetics, contradicting parts of his story. Others believe the evidence did not prove premeditation beyond doubt. The case became larger than two people. It became a national conversation about gun culture, masculinity, privilege, domestic violence, and the myth of the untouchable hero. Legacy. Oscar Pistorius was granted parole in 2024 after serving his sentence. He walks free, but he walks with a shadow that will never lift. Reeva Steenkamp does not get parole. She does not get a second chance. She does not get another Valentine's Day. She was 29. She had dreams. She had plans. She had a future. And in 4 seconds it was taken. The world once cheered Oscar Pistorius for overcoming adversity. But history will remember him differently. Not for the medals, not for the races, but for the night when fear, anger, and a gun ended a life. This is not just a story about fame. It is not just a story about crime. It is a story about choices, about consequences, and about a woman whose voice deserves to be heard long after the headlines fade. Reeva Steenkamp, August 19th, 1983 to February 14th, 2013. Gone, but not forgotten. If this story moved you, please take a moment to like this video. Comment your thoughts below. Your voice matters. And subscribe and follow Silent Case Files for more true crime stories that deserve to be told.